Hey everybody, this is Ashley with Publish with Ashley, and you guys have been asking me about Pinterest, and so I thought I'd do an updated about a video about Pinterest. I have a playlist on Pinterest and about Pinterest on my YouTube channel, so make sure you go ahead and check that out. I'll put the link up there so you can see the little icon and go to that if you want, or you can just search for that on my YouTube channel. But I wanted to give you kind of an update, maybe an overarching viewpoint of Pinterest and some different ideas. So we're going to talk a little bit about Pinterest. I'm going to show you how to make some pins on Canva and ideas actually on Pinterest, and then we're going to upload one of the photos we have created, or one of the pins we have created for Pinterest, and talk a little bit about all of that. Okay, so we're going to get right in. There is a whole lot of great information. You may have to watch this a few times to get it all. But remember, there's that playlist too, which has a few more steps and takes things maybe a little slower. But this is kind of an overarching view of everything. All right, so why Pinterest? The benefits of Pinterest, really look at the first bullet. 93 to 95% of pinners use Pinterest to plan their purchases, and 40% of pinners have a household income of $100,000 plus. Okay, so these are the people you want to be selling your products to, and you don't necessarily have to sell the $5.99 journal to somebody who wants to spend 100 or who makes 100,000 a year, right? So these are the people who are looking for things that are quality gifts. They're looking for maybe they're planning family vacations and they want ideas, activity books, whatever, to keep the kids happy in the car, all sorts of stuff. You just have to kind of look and see what you have and what you think would be a good thing to promote to the audience. So Pinterest drives 3.8% more sales than other platforms, and 87% of pinners have purchased a product because of Pinterest. They saw I've done it, so I've bought things off of Pinterest. I do it all the time. 1 in 5 US women use Pinterest. That is a lot. That's a lot. 1 out of 5 people using anything within the US is quite a few people who are really interested in the platform. Pinterest drives a ton of traffic. It is free to start. You can do promoted ads, but I've never done those. I just start with the basic free stuff, and it actually really works. One of the biggest things on Pinterest is consistency, and we'll talk a little bit more about that, but it is free. It drives stuff right to your stuff. Pins get you more inbound links to your website or wherever. In this case, you're taking them either to your website or you're taking them directly to Amazon to sell your books, and so we'll talk about that. Pinterest can integrate with your website, your Twitter account, Facebook profile. You can do all that and have your profile show those things. And it is highly addictive for the user. So if they love Pinterest, they love Pinterest. Okay, I love Pinterest, especially to get ideas. I am a very visual person. You guys have heard that before. And so I am a pinner. I love to pin, and there are a lot of people out there like me. All right, next slide. Pinterest basics. Okay, you need to get a free Pinterest business account. Okay, if you have a Pinterest account, you can either convert your account or just set up a new one. I would honestly, unless you have nothing on your personal account, I would just create a new one, because you want to kind of make your business Pinterest account work towards your preferred audience. So you don't want to, if you're looking to sell stuff to women with kids, then your products are going to probably be journals focused at women, journals focused at kids, that sort of thing. And that's kind of all the same audience, right? You're still kind of targeting that same person. So that's the type of things that should be on your Pinterest account. You do not want to necessarily mix too much. Like what I'm saying, you don't want to mix things that would be not go together. Like if you're doing kid-friendly activities, you definitely don't want to mix them with maybe more racy or sexy or, those sorts of things with your kids type items. But if you have mom stuff and kids stuff and all that mixed on there, family stuff, anything like that, maybe even men's gratitude journals, because it's all family oriented, then you're going to be fine, because you just can focus around that family oriented audience. All right, so there's different ways to do it. You can either click on the arrow over here or click on 3 dots. I've seen both ways depending on kind of how your account is set up. You need to add another account. You add a free or a business account. You add a free business account, fill out your business brand logo, upload. It's super pretty simple. If you have help, just Google, and I'm sure there's a YouTube video that Pinterest actually shows. But it's pretty simple. And I think I have how to do that on my Pinterest or my YouTube playlist. So go ahead, check that out. Next is you basically just start pinning. You have to actually put things on your board for people to look at. Think of Pinterest as like billboards, and that each billboard has kind of a topic under it. So you have different boards, and then you have pins under those boards. And that's kind of, we'll show you as we go along. But Pinterest terminology, a pin is something you create yourself. So you've created the picture, you create where it links to, you put the tags and that sort of thing. A repin is you are going to find a pin on Pinterest and repin it. And boards, think of them kind of as a file folder that on your computer that you would have like a group niche on. And we'll go over that a little bit. Okay, so here's how to start pinning. So pick 10 boards. You're going to name and create 10 boards around the niche and audience you would be interested in. So let's say your example, you're doing books on health and wellness. You're doing exercise books, recipe books, things like that. So you would want to do 10 boards, and here's 10 board ideas: healthy recipes, exercise tips, healthy inspirations, healthy meal prep, health and beauty tips, relaxation techniques, wellness quotes, wellness tips, great places to hike, and 10 family outdoor activities. And you may think these last two aren't necessarily health and wellness, but they kind of are. People who are into health and wellness would probably like to hike, and maybe if you're targeting a younger audience, the family outdoor activity seems to go. So it just kind of depends who you're targeting and who you want to come see your pins for your boards and for your products. And that's the kind of boards you would create. This is an example of the titles of the boards that you would use. And then under these, your pins would be healthy recipes, exercise tips, and things like that. And you could put your books, if they fit into these categories, like an exercise log. You could probably put that in almost all of these. Maybe great places to hike, you would have a hiking logbook instead of an exercise logbook. But you could put all your different pins under these boards. But you want to create new pins, and we'll talk about that. Okay, so first thing, start by creating those 10 boards. And you can create these over a few days. You're going to want to repin about 5 to 10 pins on each board. And always make sure you click the pin you want to repin. So find pins out there that your maybe articles from blogs, things like that your audience would be interested in, and repin those to the board so your boards don't look blank. You always want to check out the site and make sure whatever you're repinning, you want to go to that site and look that it's a valid site. If it has, pictures of cute kids on it and you click through and then it's, lingerie, that's probably not what you want to do. But if you click on it and it's, crafts for kids, and you look through their website and they have a bunch of crafts for kids, it's probably an okay thing. So you want to make sure, what I've done is I kind of know for the niches, I want websites that are valid, that are good. And I have about, 30, 40 of them that when I see a pin from there, I just pin it because I know it's going to be fine. All right, so continue to pin your blog posts or products to your boards. And you can pin your products or blog posts more than once on the boards. That makes sense. Just make sure that you change up your pin, your title, your picture, right? Pinterest loves new, and so they want it to look a little different, to have a different keywords, different titles, different catches, different ways to present the same image. So if you were thinking of, let's say, on Pinterest, there's a lot about home decorating. So let's say they're advertising a couch. You could have the couch, different angles of the couch, different places within a room, and you could take 10 different pictures of a couch that would look different. And then you could have different taglines like, need a new couch. Is your love seat looking old? Things like that. You would have different taglines or different questions, or 10 great accessories for your couch. or something like that, right? Just look through Pinterest and you'll see a bunch of ideas of things that you can do to make your pins, you know, different titles and different things that would draw attention to your pin. All right. Tips: try and pin or repin something every single day. Consistency is super important on Pinterest. You can schedule your pins. There's a place to do that. When you go to post it, you can post it or schedule it. And you don't want to pin more than 40 pins a day. And it takes about 2 months for a pin to kind of really go through the algorithm. So if you're doing something seasonal, like if you're doing Halloween stuff, you would want to start your Halloween books advertising them on Pinterest 2 months before Halloween time frame, because it takes about 2 months. But you don't want to do more than 40 pins a day, because Pinterest just kind of stops paying attention to your count after 40 pins a day. So it's not going to hurt you necessarily, but it doesn't really help you. So it's kind of wasted effort. So, 20 to 30 pins a day is more than enough, and consistency is good. I have a lot of seasonal products that start in the new year, so I do a lot of pinning in the October, November, December time frame, and then I kind of don't do anything because then my views start to drop off because I haven't been consistent. But that's okay, because the products I am advertising on that particular brand, they're things that people buy in the November, December, and January time frame. So I do this particular brand, I just put stuff, really do my consistent pinning for only 3 months a year. I can do pins on other stuff, but Pinterest takes time. So it's all what you want to put your time in. For this particular brand, it is completely worthwhile for me to do that. But other stuff, I just pin randomly and not necessarily consistently. But if I was a consistent pinner, I would get much better results. Try video pins. Canva.com and PowerPoint, you can do video pins. You can check out my playlist. I have stuff for those, but we're going to go through and I'm going to show you how to do a pin on Canva, but not necessarily a video pin, but you can try. And they've also just come out with idea pins, which are several different pictures or a video, and that's kind of new, and I haven't had a chance to play with it yet. So once I've fiddled with that, I will kind of do another video and show you how to do that. Like I said, you can check out my YouTube channel, and I have a bunch of other videos on Pinterest, so check out that playlist. Okay, so now I'm going to go to Pinterest. So I'm on Pinterest here, and I'm on one of my kind of demo example accounts, business accounts. So it really doesn't have anything on it. Don't be impressed by this particular one, because it really is a demo for me. So the example I'm going to show you is on a camping journal. So I just typed camping journal in to kind of show you some different pins and ideas of things you can create. So you could have the same journal and just do very different views. 15 insightful travel journal prompts. Okay, so if you have something with travel journal prompts, you could do a video pin showing you filling out your journal. You could actually just show some pages like this does. You could see this one right here. This is kind of very similar. You could have like a close-in view camping journal, and then you have one here that says camping journal and a little different setting and some example pages. So if you're looking for ideas, just get on Pinterest within your topic or even another topic, because it can give you ideas of different ways you can present the same product, in the sense that these don't, but let's say you need to create different pictures, like we were talking about that couch example. The couch example, you could take 10 or 15 different pictures of it with different titles and things on it, and then you'd send that to you'd send the website that you would send it to. So when they click and go to the website, you would send that all to the same couch, the one that they were looking at, but you're giving different views of it. Okay, so yeah, you can just kind of see different ideas. So let's go to Canva, and what I typed in is Pinterest pin, okay? And it gives you the right size. It needs to be longer than it is tall. It's like 3 by 2, but if you just literally type into Canva, search for Pinterest pin, you can just hit this create a blank Pinterest pin. So it makes it really easy. Now, I've already started some because I wanted to show you a few different journals a few different pins, then I'm going to make one for you live. So here I started and I made one that says "Love to Camp, the Ultimate Backpackers Camping Journal." And then I have kind of a mock-up so they can see that it is a book, a physical, actual book. And I would have my website or my brand name across the bottom. And you want this to be consistent. What I like to do on mine is, yes, I like to have a little banner on the bottom with my consistent brand name or my website or something on every single pin I do, so that way it looks really consistent. Okay, so I have that one. I have this one, the Perfect Camping Accessory, and there is again the page or the book, and again across the bottom. Now you could do just this. Let's say you have this one and you make it over here and you make it smaller, and then you do an example page or two, so you can take screenshots of your pages and put, you know, a page here and a page there, so that they could just kind of see a few of the interior pages. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to go to here, and because what I like to do is I'll make 10 pins of the same thing all at one time, because it's kind of easy to reuse. I have the graphics there. I maybe have ideas. So, and you can go like this and just hit duplicate page, so that I don't necessarily have to see that was this page, and this page 3 is the same thing. So now I don't necessarily have to, you know, do my bottom banner again, and I can maybe use this. We'll see. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to delete this, and I had this background on it at one point in time, but I want to show you something. So I have this book in uploads. This is just I have a version I made of another YouTube video. I'll put the link on how to do that up here. But there's also a way to do that in Canva, and that's what I'm going to show you right now. So I'm going to click this. This is just a screenshot of my cover. This is just a mock-up of one I did. This isn't actually something I saw on Amazon. So I'm going to put it right there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to Effects, and I'm going to click Effects. And here under Smart Mockups, I'm going to hit See All, and I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom, or very near the bottom. And they have books. So there's different books here. So let's use, I don't remember which one of these. One of these. We're going to use this one right here. Yeah, I used one with hands. I used that one. So we're going to pick this one right here. And it's going to create that. Okay, it created it, and I'm just going to make it bigger so it kind of already fits into this hole. I'm going to scoot it over. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And maybe my book isn't this big, so maybe this isn't the best mock-up, but you can use the ones that I don't think a backpacker would want to take that giant book. I think it's actually several books stacked up together, but it would look to the consumer like a giant book. So maybe this isn't the best one, but I could change that to one of these other effects and use a different mock-up than this one if I wanted to. I could just pick a different one, but let's just leave that there. And what I want to do is I already had the Perfect Camping Accessory, so maybe I would type something like, let's delete that, and type something like, want to record family camping memories. All right, and that's kind of big, so I might change this. We'll do black. And that's kind of really big, so let's take that down a little bit and move it. And maybe I would change up the font and something else. All right, I don't know what else I would pick, but let's see. Maybe this horizon. Oh, no, definitely not. Spartan Lake, I usually like that one. That's not too bad. And then I would put a question mark. I like to ask questions a lot of times because I think if people answer yes, they're likely to click on your pin. So that's why you can do different versions and ask different questions, because different questions will appeal to different people. And this is an easy way to create a lot of pins of the same object. So I think of all these, this might be my favorite. So what I would do is I would download each one of these individually as a PNG or JPEG, but I'm just going to download this one and I'll show you how to do that. So I'm going to hit download. I'm going to download it as a PNG, and I'm not going to hit all 4 pages. I am just going to hit page 2 because that's the only one I want at this point in time. So let me hit download. And once that's downloaded, we're going to actually upload that to Pinterest. So I'm going to let that download. I'm going to switch over to Pinterest. Okay, I'm back on Pinterest, and I'm going to go over here to create, and you can create an idea pin. Like I said, this is new and I haven't played with this, so I'm not sure. You can create an ad, that's the paid version, but we're just going to create a pin for right now. So I'm going to hit create pin. You can drag or drop or down or from your downloads. See, here's the one I downloaded. And what I want to do is I'm going to there's something I didn't show you over here on Canva. So let me show you something on Canva. Sorry. Let me show you this on Canva. So I titled this Backpacker Camping Journal. It is important to pay attention to what you name your file for the photo. So whatever keywords you are really looking to get, in this case, Backpacker Camping Journal, that's why I named it this. So I would name these Backpacking Camping Journal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 of them, whatever, however many I have. And that is what I would upload here. So this is Backpacker Camping Journal 1. And I'm going to basically add the title. So you want the title to, yet again, whatever your main keywords are, you're going to make sure you include those main keywords in your title. So I'm actually just going to put the title of this. So the Ultimate Backpacker Camping Journal. And you could change this up to test out what keywords either appeals to your audience better or gets you more likes, shares, all that sort of thing. So you can change this up, but for this example, I'm just using the Ultimate Backpackers Camping Journal. I might, in a future one, put Camping Journal, Backpackers Journal, things like that to try and test out and move and basically use kind of the same keywords over, but maybe use them or add additional keywords like Camping Journal for backpackers, backcountry backpackers. Let's say this had some backcountry aspect to it, something like that, or off-road camping, or if you had, this is backpacking, but maybe if you had glamping, or you had a journal with glamping, you'd put that in there, something like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually pick over here, pick one it's going to go in. This is, I have camping as these are the boards. So I could select, and you want to do different. So you made these different pins with different photos and a little bit different keywords. You could put them in each of the categories that made sense. So I put this one and this one, and then maybe one of these other ones I had created in Canva, I'd put in camping essentials. Okay, I'm going to go, and I just realized I had spelled ultimate wrong. So let me fix that. And then what I'm going to do is you're going to tell everyone what your pin is about. You can kind of make a template for this, but yet again, you're going to make sure you include your keywords, and you can even add a few hashtags at the end. So I like to be a little descriptive and kind of very similar to what you would put on a description. Need a great camping journal to record your backpacker memories while you hike through the back country, or whatever makes sense for your thing. This book includes, and then you would put what it includes, XXX, meaning like this book includes 100 pages, great 6x9 size, so you can carry in your backpack easily. Just kind of go through a few of the features, and then you can look up what different hashtags are relevant to your particular niche. But I would put camping journal, if I could spell correctly, camping journal, hashtag maybe backpack, or if I could spell backer journal. Okay, so something like that. Put a few hashtags. You can do a search and search up and try a few hashtags and see what people are using for those sorts of hashtags. Then you would put your destination link. So this would be the link on Amazon to that particular book. So it would be www.amazon, and you just copy it from whatever it is, .com/DP or whatever your page is. So you just get that directly from Amazon. I just copy and paste it and drop it in there. And there you go. And you would hit publish. And since I don't actually have a website, I'm not going to put one because I don't want to fiddle with it. So I'm just going to hit publish since this was just a demo. But you would put your website in there. It publishes and it says you've created this pin. And if I actually had a web page this would go to, you could test it out. If you wanted to advertise it, here's the promote your pin, but you can just go to see your pin so that you would know what it looks like. So here we'll hit see your pin, and so that's when what someone would do. All right, that's kind of how you do a pin on Pinterest. So like I said, you could create 20 to 30 of these. So if you had 10 different backpacking journals or camping journals, you could create one for each of these, and you could reuse. So this page right here, you could just substitute, you could make 10 of these and then just substitute in the different covers, and then make sure when you do the pins you go to that particular cover. So if you would have backpacking journals that 4 or 5 backpacking journals that have just a different cover but similar or same interiors, you could do that. So this is a good way to kind of batch it, and then you would just try and add 10 to 20 pins to your of new stuff, and then maybe another 10 repins to your Pinterest account daily, so that you keep your Pinterest account consistent, and that Pinterest notice that you're continuing to do activity. Like I said, my Pinterest account, I usually end up doing a lot of activity in the October, November, December time frame, so that it gets a lot of pins in that time frame, and then in January, February, because that's when people are purchasing, and then it's kind of just gets a decreased amount of views for the rest of the year. But that's okay, because that's kind of what I know this particular brand and what I sell. It's planner type stuff, so it ends up being that yearly type stuff. And I just like to do it that way because it's easy for me. But you can keep your Pinterest account healthy all year long by continuing to add pins daily. Even if you don't add 10 to 20, if you just add 1 or 2 daily, that's still really good. And just adding a few repins that would be appropriate under the boards that you have helps keep your account. But Pinterest does like new stuff. So when you have new books that are relevant to the audience that your Pinterest business account is like aiming at, then you should put those on as well. All right, I hope this was really helpful for you. Please let me know if you have any questions. I'm sure there'll be lots, but like I said, I do have a playlist. I will continue to add to that Pinterest playlist on my YouTube channel, so make sure to check that out. Make sure to like and subscribe, hit the notification button, all that sort of stuff. Thank you so much. See you next time.